Oh, man. Let's get going here and see what transpires. See who all can jump in here, and we'll get started this morning. I've got my fresh Sprite. I'm gonna take me a drink and get started. Oh, me. See if we can get a couple of people in here. Hey, Jamie. What about that start this week? Hadn't that been impressive? I'll tell you what, Tom Holman is really, hey, Jersey Trucker. Well, I'm feeling pretty good. Uh, just like everybody else this time of year, fighting some colds and sniffles and everything else and all that sort of stuff. Hey, Joey, how, how are you liking the start of Trump's administration so far? He's done more in 4 or 5 days than Biden's done in 4 or 5 years. I'll tell you what, all the press conferences, all the inaugural ball, and all the stuff, and he has definitely he has been taking names and kicking butt, hadn't he? I tell you what, they are definitely started up with some stuff, and thank goodness they got Pete through his nomination, and they got Christy Nome. They still got Pam Bondi to get done, and of course they got Secretary of State. What's the little boy's? Gosh, I can't even think. Is it Castro? No, not Castro. Rubio. Rubio. I had to. Yeah, Castro. That's wrong person. Rubio. Got Rubio in. Got Christy Nome in. They got Pete in. Hey, Patrick, you made it in here today, didn't you? Yeah, I'm glad to see you jumped in here, Patrick. And we'll try to get a good discussion going. I tell you what, I'm impressed with. Hey, he is showing a message at the border, isn't he? Putting the troops down there and putting those Osprey helicopters flying overhead, and they're armed too. They're not just taking this. They're turning them back. They're turning them back. These people are going, hey, we're not going to the border anymore anytime soon. Yep. Send them packing. Send them packing. And hey, we have secured borders all over the world for every other country but ourselves. It is the stupidest thing that's ever been done. I am glad he's saying, hey, we're going to use our troops in the right way. Hey, Walter. Oh yeah, I love the fact that he fired all the DEI workers. Although they're some of them, I don't know if you noticed, they were showing some of them have tried to play some tricks and just rename them from DEI to something else too. But they'll get them cleaned up. They'll get it cleaned up. And it just it's going to take a little time. It'll take a little time, but hopefully they'll get them squared up and everything. But I'm impressed already. One week of Trump has he has done more. I mean, he's done more news conferences than he did in his total than Biden did in 4 years, and sits there and or stands there and takes all those questions just straight up. And Biden had a card or a teleprompter, and then says, "I don't know if they'll let me answer that." That kind of stuff. That we got a president now. We got somebody's taking charge. Yeah, it's going to take time to drain the swamp. It definitely is. But he's definitely pulled the plug, hadn't he? He has definitely pulled the plug on the swamp, and he is definitely doing his thing. I am impressed. I tell you. Now we just don't get bogged down with other stupid things, but he I think he's getting some of these liberals going, hey, well, he's helping out. Oh yeah, he has backed up his word. He is not uh, uh, mealy mouthed about it. What they said they were going to do, they're doing, and I think that's impressive. Oh yeah. Oh, I tell you what, we hope they're all gone before long. That's for sure. Good morning, James. Yeah, yeah. I want to see it all gone. I want to see. I want to see it changed in a very positive way. Uh, and so far, everything's been very positive. I think. I mean, he visited North Carolina, which here in North Carolina we're devastated. I can tell you that. I I, I got to see some of the devastation when I went to the mountains. When I went up through Morganton and that direction a couple of weeks ago, taking my grandson up there to ski, and some of the debris all over the place. I mean, where it's washed down and everything else up there near Newland, and it's devastating. It's still devastating. It's going to take a while to. I mean, it's going to take years. It's not going to take weeks. It's going to take years to clean up what's happened in North Carolina, and I hope they don't forget it. That's for sure. Yeah, it's going to be something else. But I'm impressed with a week with a week of what he's had and what he's gotten done. I'm very impressed. Yeah. Well, I hope he continues on the right path and just, like I said, will kick butt. If he'll continue to kick butt and just get those. I mean, the I even saw what it was Jake Tapper or whatever, and he said, "Whew," and he said it's only been 4 days that he was talking about what all they CNN and all these others are seeing what all's going on. That hey, he's a man of his word. You may not like CNN. Some of those don't like what he's doing, but I don't care. I don't care that the you know 90% of the rest of the public does, at least, or 70, 80% anyway. But you know, these ultra liberals that are going to complain about anything that's going to change. Of course, some people are already saying, "Well, the prices haven't changed in the grocery store yet." Yeah, give it a couple of months. What took Biden 4 years to screw up, you can't change overnight. I mean, but he's changing a lot of things very quickly. Oh, I tell you what, JD Vance, he can do it, can't he? Between him and Pam Bondi, and I think Pete's going to be great too with the military. I think getting all this DEI crap out and all. I mean, you look at what happened in Los Angeles with all these DEI hires, seeing how inadequate. How do you put out fires if you don't have water? And then Trump came out there and he's told them you got to have water. And 90% of the people out there say, hey, we need water. They know that. The average person knows. And for them to reject water and different things like that, it's just ridiculous. Hey, Info Warrior. Yep, he needs to. He needs to use that green money, put that green money into using it in the right place, not the crappy place. I mean, help rebuild California with some of that green money. We've got to diversify what we're doing there and change this waste that they've got and put it in the right spots and everything. Yeah, and then they're doing the AI stuff. I tell you what, the AI stuff that they had, although that upset Elon a little bit because that Sam Altman. Anyway, that one guy and him, that they're the ones then him and Elon were together on AI when it came out with that Meta AI stuff and everything. And they split off, and then he and Elon had a falling out. But you know, that's millionaires and billionaires fighting over this, that, and the other. But I'm not going to worry about that. As long as they can keep their head to the grindstone or nose to the grindstone. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's going to get that voter ID thing. I mean, but he's definitely, trying to influence that stuff. But you got so many stupid people out there that are going to vote in a stupid way. I mean, they've got to get some other politicians out there that can change some of this around. California is just stupid right now. You got stupid leaders out there, stupid leaders in California. And until they change that, I mean, if they want federal help, they better get their act together. That's for sure. But I mean, and the bad thing about it, you don't want to deprive the people. You just want to deprive the politicians out there. It's not so much the general public you want to deprive. It's the politicians that you want to go, hey, straighten your act out. Straighten things. I had to get my collar straight here. Talking about straightening. Yeah, wind turbines. They've already proven they've already proven that sucks. That creates more waste with the wind turbines. Solar is still okay, but wind turbines, I just don't. I think that needs to go bye bye. There's it takes too much. It takes too much land mass, kills too many animals. It's just, and it's ugly on the landscape. If you ever go see it out in the Midwest and everything, and it's just not efficient. I mean, it's probably lining the pockets of some people because of the way they got tax credits and everything else. But I don't. Those wind farms, they need to go away. Yeah, I know it. I mean that they've already proven that they have been more destructive to the environment. Even though what was it, beaching whales and everything else, and the ones that they stuck out in the ocean, and that just can't be good. But we can harness the sun. I don't object to that. I mean, you can go in there and they ought to put you know they got these solar tiles. I like to look at new technology that's been coming down on that, and they're coming up with all kind of solar film and solar tiles and all kind of different things that they could implement and put into building situations, and that could help the environment if it's done right. But the problem is, uh, you have to have so much battery backup and all kind of stuff like that that it it's still expensive. It's still expensive, and it's not a quick fix for anything. That's for sure. I'm still about drill baby drill for myself. Yeah. Well, I mean, some of these solar. I mean, we're getting them all over North Carolina. I mean, we got a lot of places that got solar farms, and some of them. And some of them have gotten kind of ratty looking. I don't like them as good as it. But I mean, they got one. Of course, we've got the big data center for Apple that's right not 25 miles from me. And they got a huge, I mean, a huge solar farm across the road from it. I mean, when you go up there and look, they got, it probably takes up, I'd say a good 40 acres of land that has got nothing but solar panels on it. And it's right across the road from the data center for Apple. So that's where when you ask for Siri and all that, and now that I said that, it might trigger on my computer here. But when you that data center for Apple is up there in Newton, North Carolina, right outside of Newton. Newton, it's between Newton and Maiden. I don't know which one. I don't know which one. It might be Maiden that got that one, but it's right there. They all the territory kind of Hickory, Maiden, Newton, and all of them kind of try to claim territory out there. I don't know who annexed it first, but that's a couple of small towns that bump up against each other. But anyway, uh, they've got a huge data center up there. Of course, we got Facebook that's right up in Forest City, and we got Google that's up in Lenoir. So we've got some big data centers because North Carolina has some of the cheapest power uh, of any location. Is one reason they've located in North Carolina. I mean, our utility is way cheaper than anywhere else. And in the process, they're being pretty progressive about what they're doing. I wish they would build. They had a nuclear plant that was going to be built in right across the way in South Carolina, and they disbanded that years ago. And that's where they even filmed a movie down there in the abandoned nuclear plant. It was, what was it called? Now they built the Catawba one, but this one was I don't know. I don't even know what it was called. Yeah, Duke Energy is from North Carolina. Well, they're not here. Duke Energy's cheap here. I mean, cheaper than anything else. I mean, when you look at our utility rates, they're way down. I mean, my power bill is not high here at my house in comparison to what I got. I mean, I've got a lot, but my buildings and everything that I've got a shop building over here, and I just generally pay the minimum of about $40 or $50 a month on it because I don't have anything but lights and a few other things in it. And then my main shop up here, I've got, of course, now I've converted everything over to LED, so I don't have inefficient lights in anything anymore. I've got everything converted to LED, which has saved me a lot. I don't like fluorescent anyway. Well, we get of course now Duke Power merged with somebody, I think, didn't they? I don't know who they merged with, but we've got good rates here in North Carolina. Maybe that must be your utilities commission or something. But Duke Powers gives us great rates, so I can't complain about it. I don't want California rates, that's for sure. So I don't know what they're doing in Florida, but in North Carolina they're very efficient. Well, I don't know, James, because I'm here in North Carolina and I got a 6,000 square foot house, and my power bill's not that high. I can tell you that. Uh, mine, I got a pretty good size house, and I think it's right at 5 or 6,000 square feet to my house, and uh, it and my power bill runs probably probably close to that, $200 or $300 a month. Now I have two heat pumps, and I got gas logs, and I got gas hot water heater, and but my 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 power is very reasonable. I'm on a fixed monthly rate that I pay, and I usually get rebates at the end. Well, I get a month or so that where I when we catch up, that I'm in the positive, not the negative. And of course, I don't have the harsh summers that Florida does, but we have mild temperatures here in North Carolina, and of course our winters are harder than yours. So I couldn't tell you, but we like I said, my house, I do everything in my house, and I don't hold back on anything. And my house is I don't even know if mine's $300 a month because it's it's reasonable in my opinion. I got an itchy ear. I got to put my hearing aid back in here. I got to put my hearing aid back in so I can hear y'all guys. Yeah, but other than that, I'm happy with things, and it this week was very impressive to me because I've been busy this week too. I've had to be on the radio a good bit this week. There's been a lot of guys that wanted off for this, that, and the other. Uh, I only got one scheduled so far for this next week. I got Tuesday morning. I told them I'm sort of like a whack-a-mole on the radio part. You never know where I'm gonna pop up because I started out at the first of the week and I said, well, I won't have much this week. And then one guy called me to do a 10 to 1 show. And then another one called me, asked me if I'd do one on a Wednesday night show. And then I did a afternoon drive show. And then it just on and on. I never know what the next guy wants me to help them with. And the only one I've got going so far this week is a Tuesday morning drive show. So I'm going to be on from 7 to 10 Tuesday morning on jukinoldies.com. If any of you guys want to tune in, anyway, that's the story of that. And then I've been, it's been too daggum cold to work. Jim wanted off a couple of days. I mean, when it got so cold, it was terrible. Oh yeah, I tell you what, January 20th was great. I mean, it did. It went down it went down as a great day. Well, I mean, you never know. I mean, solar will probably, I mean, solar, if they could get the cost of the panels down, that's the thing. And, with the cost of inflation and everything, everybody wants to get their fingers in it to charge you something. But my brother-in-law has had solar in his mountain cabin for a good 25 years, I would imagine already. And he's got the battery back up, everything. I mean, he's just not selling back to the utility. I mean, that's the thing that's so discouraging, I think, is these people that put in the solar and they have to buy the electricity at one rate and then pay. They only get paid pennies on the dollar for what their solar gets back to the transmission lines. You would think it'd almost be tit for tat, but it's not. I mean, you buy that electricity at retail, and you sell it back to them at wholesale or below. I've heard some people. I've viewed online some people that have their solar and everything, and their answer to the problem on that is to get more battery backup so they can use way less of the utility, and then that way they don't have to sell anything back to them. I didn't see many protests. I don't know. I what I didn't watch, wall to wall coverage and everything. Uh, Guys, I might sneeze. Hold on a second. Oh me, I've got enough cold that I've got. Oh man, I thought I was going to have to sneeze. Let me look at a light. They say you can look at a light, and that'll help. But hold on one second. I'm gonna have to blow my nose. I'm gonna get off screen because y'all don't want to see that. Let me see if I can get off screen here. Second. Sorry about that. You probably heard it, but oh me. It is what it is. I got a cold. like everybody else this time of year. I got a little bit of a cold. That's why I got a red nose here a little bit. But it came up on me here, and I couldn't I couldn't do anything about it except sneeze or blow my nose a little bit. It is what it is. Try not to be too gross and everything, but when you get a runny nose and you have to do what you have to do. I'm live, so what you see is what you get with me. I try not to be too tough on you here, guys. But I'm very impressed with, like I said, everything that went on this week. I mean, I can't wait till next week to see what he's going to do. I hope they load up way more transporters than what they got, but they sure have painted a pretty picture, hadn't they? They've rounded up these people. I know that these ICE agents have been, they've had their hands tied for years and couldn't do anything, and so are the border patrol people. You know that they're tired of just handing out Pampers to babies, and now they can do their job. Well, that's pretty impressive. Nuclear is the way to go. I can tell you that. And we got the nuclear power plants they say they're way more efficient now. And why we haven't pursued that, I don't know. They need to. I mean, we had all these crazy environmentalists back in the 70s. People are old enough to remember it. You had the Jane Fondas and Martin Sheen and all these crazy activists that got out and tied themselves to fences, and that crap like that is what's deterred a lot of people from doing the right thing. And if we had more nuclear power plants built, we'd be in way better shape on energy right now. But no, the idiots got a hold of it. But hopefully they can do some good and build some more. Yep, I think we can go from worst to first, and I definitely am impressed, and I definitely want to see what's going on. That's for sure. And that like I said, it's Trump took off in warp speed, didn't he? I mean, he took off in warp speed if he did anything, and I'm impressed with that. I mean, I didn't realize he was going to get all that much done in just 4 or 5 days, but he did it. He promised it. He did it. He's getting it. And if he had all of his people in place, think about, you got all these office workers that won't come back to work. I mean, that's a big thing there. I mean, you got all these people, you got all the liberal media showing, oh, well, they're trying to get them to go back to work. Well, yeah, they had a job. If you take a job, you go to work, period. You don't just sit back on your butt and you say, oh, I don't want to go back to the office. It's going to cost me this, this, and this. I'm going to have to change my lifestyle. Well, boo-hoo. Change or or get off the pot, as they say. Yeah, I saw that. That was terrible. Somebody from Germany, wasn't it? They killed him and everything. I mean, it's a dangerous job out there. That's for sure. It's definitely a dangerous job. Yeah, yeah. She's. Did you notice how Gavin Newsom, how he sort of kissed the ring of Trump too? He's like, hey, we need your help. I'm gonna try my best not to disrupt everything. Yeah, it's there's a lot of those politicians that are going to have to come around. They're going to have to come around because they're going to get stomped if they don't. He's going to say, hey, you don't want my help? Don't get it. I'm going to offer it. If you don't want it, bye. You know, but you hate to see different areas deprived because of stupid leadership, and that's what we've got to do. We got to change the leadership in some of these ultra liberal places. Yeah, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. Yeah, he's bad mouthed him and everything for 4 years, and now he's sort of like, well, Mr. President, I sure could use your help. Yeah, I know it. It is. There's a lot of these politicians that have changed their ways. I mean, look at all the tech giants that are going, hey, we did the wrong thing by aligning with Biden, and they came around. Tim Cook and Bezos and all of them, all the guys from Google, all those tech giants were at the inaugural address. That's exactly right. We're a country of laws, and all he's had to do is take care of the law. He didn't have to do a dang thing. He didn't have to change. He didn't have to change one thing. He just upheld what was supposed to be going on anyway. In other words, if you're not supposed to do this, we're going to prevent you from doing it. And if you do it, we're going to arrest you for doing it. That's it, plain and simple. And that's the difference. He's upholding the law, whereas Biden was letting everybody slide under the fence. I mean, it was pathetic. But it is great to see somebody take control and say, here are the laws. Here's what we're going to do. You arrest these people. We're going to convict these people. We're going to kick their butts out, and we're going to, take care of it. Hey, Kevin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He didn't say, well, come on, ride with me in the helicopter and we'll view this. He said, yep, we're headed into the helicopter to go take a look. He didn't say, Newsom, come on with me and we'll go to the party. Newsom had to settle along. And then he went and met with the LA mayor and everything, and Newsom wasn't there. Yeah, well, and that they should. But most of the sheriffs are working with Trump. I mean, you don't see. It had to be a fringe area that's not working with them. You see, most of the law enforcement is, I'd say, is 90%, if not 95, 99% behind Trump. And you see these volunteers out there, and they were applauding what Trump was doing when they went out to California and everything. They were happy. They were happy with him. They wanted to, those people wanted to be able to cut back some of this federal and state regulation and local regulation to let these people get back and clean up their houses and get going and let them get back there and rebuild. That's what they want to do. They want to be first in line to rebuild. But over regulating them is not going to solve the problem. And they're going to have to get the federal government to say, hey, y'all quit that. If you want our help, you're going to have to quit. And watch the money. That's the thing. They have wasted so much money out there in California, and they just pad their own pocket. They bump their own salaries up. I mean, they get all that money, and then they allocate it out. They need to have a czar over the money, the federal money they get, because that is a bad issue, very bad issue. Well, I mean, you're going to have to get these liberal organizations like that to do what they're supposed to do. If not, ICE is going to come in there and do it. They're going to fix it. And I look for some of these people like that Chicago mayor get his butt arrested for not following up with ICE. And I could care less. Throw his button in the clink. He's an idiot anyway. Yeah, well, and that's what you got to worry about. Some of these kickbacks and everything else. They're going to have to. There's going to have to be an accountability of the money trail. That's for sure. Uh, on contracts and everything else, there can be a the follow up on all this is going to be tremendous. I mean, it is something. There's a lot of money kicked back. That's for sure. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's for sure. But we'll see. We will see in time. Well, guys, I am going to get off. I've got the wife has some things for me to do. I better go do them to keep her happy. I've enjoyed it this morning. Happy to be back uh, under a new administration. Doesn't it make you feel good? I'll tell you that. Y'all take care. I'm gonna get out of here. I got this old cold's bothering me anyway, and y'all have a good rest of the week. See you guys.